Vamos a comenzar con el permiso. Vamos a comenzar con las oraciones antes y después con la alabanza del Buda Shakyamuni. Maestro, destructor de enemigos, has sido Buda completa y perfectamente despierto, dotado con sabiduría y conducta ejemplar, ido al gozo, timonero que guía a los seres ordinarios que aún deben ser domados, ser supremo, maestro de todos los dioses y los hombres, Buda, destructor de enemigos, glorioso y victorioso ser Shakyamuni, ante ti me postro y a ti voy por refugio. Maestro, destructor de enemigos, has sido Buda completa y perfectamente despierto, dotado con sabiduría y conducta ejemplar, ido al gozo, timonero que guía a los seres ordinarios que aún deben ser domados, ser supremo, maestro de todos los dioses y los hombres, Buda, destructor de enemigos, glorioso y victorioso ser Shakyamuni, ante ti me postro y a ti voy por refugio. Maestro, destructor de enemigos, has sido Buda completa y perfectamente despierto, dotado con sabiduría y conducta ejemplar, ido al gozo, timonero que guía a los seres ordinarios que aún deben ser domados, ser supremo, maestro de todos los dioses y los hombres, Buda, destructor de enemigos, glorioso y victorioso ser Shakyamuni, ante ti me postro y a ti voy por refugio. Ahora leemos el Sutra del Corazón de la Perfección de la Sabiduría. Así lo oí. Una vez el bendito estaba residiendo en Rayagrilla, en la montaña llamada Pico del Buitre, junto a una gran asamblea de monjes y una gran asamblea de bodhisattvas. En ese momento el bendito entró al samadhi que expresa el Dharma, llamado iluminación profunda, y al mismo tiempo el noble Avalokiteshvara, el bodhisattva Mahasattva, mientras practicaba la profunda perfección de la sabiduría, vio lo siguiente. Vio que los 5 skandhas son de la naturaleza del vacío. Entonces, por el poder del Buda, el venerable Shariputra le preguntó al noble Avalokiteshvara, el bodhisattva Mahasattva, ¿cómo debe entrenar un hijo o una hija de familia noble que quiere practicar la profunda perfección de la sabiduría? Entonces el noble Avalokiteshvara, el bodhisattva Mahasattva, le contestó al venerable Shariputra, oh Shariputra, un hijo o una hija de familia noble que desea practicar la profunda perfección de la sabiduría, debe practicar así, viendo lo siguiente, que los 5 skandhas son de la naturaleza del vacío. La forma es el vacío también es la forma. El vacío no es otra cosa que la forma no es otra cosa que el vacío. De la misma manera, los sentimientos, las percepciones, las formaciones mentales y la conciencia también son el vacío. Por lo tanto, Shariputra, todos los dharmas son el vacío. No existen las características, no existe el nacimiento ni la cesación. No hay impureza y no hay pureza. No hay merma ni hay aumento. Por lo tanto, Shariputra, en el vacío no hay forma, sentimiento, percepción, formación mental ni conciencia. No hay ojos, oídos, nariz, lengua, cuerpo o mente. Ni apariencias, ni sonidos, ni olores, ni sabores, ni tacto, ni dharmas. No hay dhatu de los ojos y hasta el dhatu de la mente y conciencia. No hay ignorancia ni fin de la ignorancia hasta la vejez y la muerte. No hay fin de la vejez y de la muerte. No hay sufrimiento ni origen del sufrimiento. No hay cesación del sufrimiento, ni sendero, ni sabiduría, ni logro, ni ausencia de logro. Por lo tanto, Shariputra, ya que los bodhisattvas no tienen logros, moran en la profunda perfección de la sabiduría. Como no hay obscuración en la mente, no hay tampoco temor. Trascienden lo falso y alcanzan el nirvana total. Todos los budas de los 3 tiempos, a través de la práctica de la profunda perfección de la sabiduría, despiertan completamente a la iluminación insuperable, verdadera y total. Por lo tanto, el gran mantra de la profunda perfección de la sabiduría, el mantra de la gran percepción, el mantra insuperable, el mantra inigualado, el mantra que calma todo sufrimiento, debe ser conocido como la verdad ya que no contiene falsedad. El mantra de la profunda perfección de la sabiduría es Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhisoha, Tayata, 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 Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhisoha. Por lo tanto, Shariputra, el Bodhisattva Mahasattva debe entrenarse en la profunda perfección de la sabiduría. Entonces el bendito salió del Samadhi y elogió al noble Avalokiteshvara, el Bodhisattva Mahasattva, diciendo: bien dicho, así es, oh hijo de noble familia, así es. Se debe practicar la profunda perfección de la sabiduría, así como has explicado, y todos los tathagatas se regocijarán. Cuando el bendito dijo estas palabras, el venerable Shariputra y el noble Avalokiteshvara, el Bodhisattva Mahasattva, y toda la asamblea de dioses humanos, asuras y gandharvas se regocijaron y alabaron las palabras del bendito. Ahora vamos a hacer la ofrenda del mandala breve en tibetano. Tomamos refugio en español. Voy por refugio hasta alcanzar la iluminación, al Buda, al Dharma y a la Asamblea Suprema, por los méritos que acumule practicando la generosidad y demás perfecciones que pueda obtener el estado de Buda para beneficiar a todos los seres. Voy por refugio hasta alcanzar la iluminación, al Buda, al Dharma y a la Asamblea Suprema, por los méritos que acumule practicando la generosidad y demás perfecciones que pueda obtener el estado de Buda para beneficiar a todos los seres. Voy por refugio hasta alcanzar la iluminación, al Buda, al Dharma y a la Asamblea Suprema, por los méritos que acumule practicando la generosidad y demás perfecciones que pueda obtener el estado de Buda para beneficiar a todos los seres.
So we do a short meditation based on that refuge that we recited. So trying to be your back straight and relax your shoulder. Just feel you're present. Pay attention for yourself. Bringing your intention inward. Feeling the sensation of your breath. Then just bring your attention, the sensation that you feel in tip of your nose when you inhale and exhale. Then imagine and visualize Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of your space. Feel the energy of enlightened beings. And also visualize blessings and nectars from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And when you inhale, imagine all this blessing entering into your central core part of your body. And when you exhale, visualize all the negativity, karma, blockage, doubt and confusion, all these are purified. Then not only yourself, the loved ones who need the blessings, and also stranger who needs the blessings, and also so-called enemy who needs a blessing. At this moment, visualize all these three beings that in a different way how they relate with you, regardless. Imagine and visualize blessings from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, entering all this blessing into their body and cleansing and purifying all the negative energies. Then even furthermore, the sentient beings in the entire universe. Imagine the nectar and blessing of enlightened beings are touching and transforming and purification. Then visualize all the universe gradually dissolving into the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that you visualize in front of your space. Also, all the sentient beings also dissolving into the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Then gradually, entire Buddhas and Bodhisattvas gradually dissolving into the center Buddha, the Buddha Shakyamuni. And imagine and visualize Buddha gradually descend and abide as your crown. And purifying all the negativity karmas of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine and visualize transforming all your body, speech, and mind as a crystal clear. And then gradually the Buddha from the crown descend and abide at your heart. So at this moment, state of joy, and this state of joy gradually transform into non-conceptual mind. And this moment feel a voidness, emptiness. No true nature, just energy flow. and feeling the Buddha at your heart, and we're going to recite the refuge, the Namo Gurubhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, okay? So first, repeat after me. Keep your palm hands together at your heart. Okay, repeat after me. Namo,
Namo
Guru,
Guru
Bhya,
Ya
Namo,
Namo
Buddha,
Buddha
Ya,
Ya
Namo,
Namo
Dharma,
Dharma
Ya,
Ya
Namo,
Namo
Sangha,
Sangha
Ya.
Ya.
One more time. Namo,
Namo
Guru,
Guru
Bhya,
Ya
Namo,
Namo
Buddha,
Buddha
Ya,
Ya
Namo,
Namo
Dharma,
Dharma
Ya,
Ya
Namo,
Namo
Sangha,
Sangha
Ya,
Ya
Namo,
Namo
Guru,
Guru
Bhya,
Ya
Namo,
Namo
Buddha,
Buddha
Ya,
Ya
Namo,
Namo
Dharma,
Dharma
Ya,
Ya
Namo,
Namo
Sangha,
Sangha
Ya.
Ya.
Okay, let's recite this refuge several times. Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Guru Bhya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Okay. Okay. So, today's topic is concept of true nature. And when you're talking about the nature, now one thing important, Buddha's teaching and also Buddha's, in Buddhism, how you practice, these two are really connected. Teaching, which really give you instruction to way to meditating, and teaching is basically to understanding. When you're doing practice, in a practice there's two layers. Practice that when you're doing, there's a really clear instruction and guidelines, and you are really following that. So there's a practice in that level. Then practice that beyond the instruction. It is not depend into the instruction, but the is a practice that opens for any kind of experience. That experience is not necessarily basis into instruction through instruction, but it opens whole kind of experience. So in a practice, I have two natures. So what is a much more reliable practice of experience is that experience of a practice of that experience which you develop through instruction will be much more predictable and much more reliable. Practice that we not develop through instruction or understanding, some practice you've done through a very strong conviction and a devotion, and also your previous life karmic conditions, there might be some kind of a different experience, extraordinary experience. But sometimes such an experience may become hindrance, confusion. So therefore, even some of the meditation instruction, it says there's advice in the two areas. First thing, when you're trying your best meditation practice and you're not able to generate realization, and then only thing what you should do is basically merit accumulation and purification related with the merit field. So that one advised. Gonna tokwa gyulamiki. Shingi tulatemba mengains. So that's the one advice. And another advice is even when you're doing meditation, if something extraordinary experience comes up, the advice is just a feel that is the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. There's the blessings of an enlightened being. Not more than that, you're feeling, oh, this happened, why happened, how is happening, how I can, furthermore bringing that, how we can, you say, don't do it. Because it is a surprise, extraordinary experience. Such a things happens through your karma, through your, blessings of enlightened beings. So it is nothing to grasping on it. Okay. So therefore, based on these two advice, outcome basically for us, how we start is basically meditation experience that we started based on understanding. Okay. So that's one thing. So one problem over here, sometimes we get so much caught into the understanding and intellectual, and then suddenly just kind of like all the energy is a waste into that knowledge. So here, usual instruction is there's three different type of wisdom that we go through, wisdom of understanding. This is the first step that you're trying to study and trying to understand. Then wisdom of a contemplation. That is the really the important bridge between our head and our heart. So wisdom of a contemplation. So wisdom of a contemplation is what that really means is such an understanding and awareness is, translate to integration, like how that knowledge can help me. How that is not kind of selfish, but is basically you yourself becoming some kind of like a research field. So if our own knowledge not able to help for our own self, then our knowledge will never help anybody. If our knowledge and understanding can help and transform our own self, then definitely our knowledge have a very much potential to help and transform for another living being. So therefore, not only knowledge of understanding, the knowledge of a contemplation, the wisdom of a contemplation is the so wisdom of a contemplation is basically integrating such a knowledge to your own personal. So basically, that knowledge you're trying to look at, not into the knowledge, but but bringing that knowledge into yourself, deepening. So, sometimes we get so much into the knowledge and deepening into the knowledge, and so much dualistic yourself and the knowledge becomes too much distant. So then, sometimes you say, Google omniscient mind. You can ask anything to Google, it will answer you. So there's a two type of omniscient mind: Google omniscient mind, Yahoo omniscient mind. I don't know how many of these omniscient minds. Okay, so information is good, is great, but is not the whole thing. It just stucks into the first level of wisdom. Okay, so therefore, this concept of a reality, concept of a nature. When we say reality, is what I understood is like a conclusion of a nature. Nature have a many different, aspects, and the reality is some kind of like a conclusion and a final, kind of like an explanation or definition of existence. So we call reality and the nature. So. So in the Buddhism, in the meditation, certain meditation, lots of time, meditation in the nature of a mind, nature of a self, nature of a phenomena, nature. So the key thing over here in the meditation, when the faith-driven meditation, sometimes individuals have a lot of faith. Faith is a very vulnerable spiritual mind, I think. It's a very vulnerable spiritual mind. You can create faith through fear. You can also create faith through understanding, through clarity. Okay. However, in whatever case, still it is a faith. Is a mind that is a faith. It is still faith. So therefore, it carries the potential to, through such a mind, it carries full of potentials to powerful meditation, even into the nature of existence. Okay, so over here, particularly in Buddha's teaching in the second training of Villava Dharma, and following that second training of Villava Dharma, and then in Nagarjuna, he have a lot of make efforts to way to understanding the second training of Villava Dharma, and also Chantakiti, all the great Shantideva, so on and so forth. So the approach, particularly Shantideva's Bodhisattva's way of life, in the 9th chapter, in a chapter of wisdom, basically, if you read straightforward, maybe it will be not easy to understanding, but it is a really concentrated guideline to way to meditate into the nature of existence of a self and a phenomena. Okay, and particularly in Shantideva's, engaging in the 9th chapter, in the wisdom chapter, he gives the integration of a full mindfulness with the meditation of meditation into reality, or meditation of existence. Okay, so this meditation into the nature of existence, in a question number one for us is why we engage into such a meditation, to observing nature of existence. One thing is the Buddha's one guidelines to way to overcome from suffering, and a way to overcome from doubt, and a way to overcome from confusion, and particularly, fear. Those creates the fear. And these mental confusion and doubt, and these are the key ingredients for the fear. So Buddha's guideline is, you know, how you say, advice is a meditation into the nature of existence. Okay. Now over here, nature of existence is not so much of a meditation of the nature of existence of a flower. It's not so much about that. Also, you know, there is a meditation we can do nature of the existence of flower. So when we're meditating in the nature of the existence of flower, it is not so much about which kind of chemistry and which kind of atom was it made it through. It's not about the conventional, how you say, conventional might have many different layers, but it is basically one thing, key area is how our mind and emotion way it relating with such a beautiful object. Okay, it is not about understanding about what the way it is produced and way it was created through cause and condition. It's not about that. It is most of the nature over here is the relation between our emotion and the phenomena, a relation between our mind and object. In relation with that is required to meditation into nature of existence. Nature of existence over here is not so much our, you know, like at the beginning, in nature of existence, meditation is basically what you're perceiving, what you perceive, how you experience. Is not so much about what the object it is so much what the subject is experiencing. Your observation takes so much into the subject mind. So is the way it perceives the nature of this object. Okay, so that's the way to you know, meditation in the nature of existence is so much mindfulness of some kind of mind or mindfulness of a subject observing. So that becomes step number one. Why Buddha is guiding from that angle is because this is the way once we see the subject, the conscious awareness and the nature, the object as a very dualistic, that's really the cause of suffering and confusion. Okay, so basically, mindfulness of a subject. You know, one quotation, Sangye namji chö tenpa, denpa nila yang tangten. Jiden kunzu tenpa da tambe tungi tenpa. Sangye namji chö tenpa, denpa nila yang tangten. Basically, Buddha's teachings is basically concentrated into based on a true conventional nature and ultimate nature. Basically, teachings, you know, is Buddha's teachings coming from what? You know, if we can ask question, is the Buddha's teaching is something, vision happened to Buddha and then he taught it? No. Buddha's teaching is also based on a research of our human experience, and that's basically based on that experience, Buddha's teaching was given. In some case, some you know, group of people's experience are different than some group of people. Sometimes Buddha have a different teaching that contradicting, you know, like something he say in some of the group of disciples, and then he says slight difference into a group of another disciple. So here Buddha's teaching is, I would say, like based on observation of a group of living beings, karmic situations, and based on that, you know, teaching was given. You know, so therefore, shi dembani, lam tapsheni, devukuni. You know, so therefore, you know, sometimes we will say, I want to learn Buddhism. And I want to understand Buddhism. What is Buddhism? Is this what is all this about? Buddhism. to orientate our own self. Of course, there's a Lambrim and all those different teachings, but to really philosophically to get to understand, I think concept of we need to have a good introduction into the true truth. True truth is a relative truth and ultimate truth. Okay. So introduction in Buddhism, that's, I would say, way to give an introduction into true truths or true nature, conventional nature and ultimate nature. Why we need to do that? Because all the Buddhist teaching of a Four Noble Truth is based on a true truth. So before we, usually we say like, introduction to Buddhism, maybe Eightfold Path or Four Noble Truths. These things are really great, but to hit the point, I think we have to have an introduction in a true truth. Usually this doesn't happen. We'll give an introduction to Buddhism mostly with Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. It doesn't happen into the true truth because this is a very complex. Usually then it doesn't become introduction, it becomes advance. But in reality, I think we have to come through. Otherwise, it becomes like an organized religion. From my perspective, where I see as a Buddhism is something it doesn't see as like organized. It is not kind of like a vision. It is basically like, for example, there is a Buddha as a doctor, Dharma as a medicine, and Sangha is like a caregiver. So over here, medicine produced even in today's world based on the understanding of the nature of a problem, of a sickness. It's not we create the medicine first and then later the problem, the sickness, or it's not this way. It comes another way. In the exact same way, Buddha's teaching, it should be in exactly this way. There is a problem, and there is an issue, and there is a challenge. So teaching is really directly driven to hitting for, how you say, expressing into that. Okay, so concept of a true truth, a relative truth, and ultimate truth. What really means ultimate truth? Even in ultimate, in terms of here, ultimate is also relatively established. There's nothing inherent or independent ultimate. There's no such a thing as exists. As a concept of a truth is based on a cause and condition. And cause and condition depends into our own experience. So truth is also very relative because cause and conditions are very relative. So therefore, even the teaching Buddha gave concept of emptiness, like emptiness, there's a way to meditate in the emptiness of emptiness. So there's basically when there's a truth, there's nothing independent, inherent reality. Such a thing doesn't exist. Okay. I think in your mind saying, can you give me brief, simple, easy meditation? Why are you making the headache, all this thing? Okay. So, Okay. So you can take as a oral transmission, or you can take as a, like a really analyzing in both way. Okay. Okay. So my key thing over here, not only just kind of like satisfying just in a Four Noble Truth. The Buddha's teaching is about Four Noble Truth. Is need to go one more step further, understanding about two reality, conventional reality and ultimate reality. Okay, and also when it's a omniscient mind, Buddha's mind, basically Buddha's mind, basically right now, the key point over here is, you know, we face suffering, we face, kind of like a cycle of suffering, these kind of things. Basically, where we perceive reality, very dualistic, conventional, ultimate, even in a much more advanced level. When it's a Buddha, omniscient mind, it doesn't see separately conventional reality and ultimate reality. Basically, concept of a dualistic or non-dualistic is based on is not so much dual in terms of a subject and object. I mean, like when we're talking about true reality, conventional reality, ultimate reality, it is something we need to talk integration with the subject and object. And that's very true, but when you say just duality as a subject and object, this is very general. We need to go a little bit much more related with the conventional and ultimate. So, now, for example, the transformation of our mind and through meditation, and what really happening in the meditation, any kind of Sutrayana meditation or Tantrayana meditation. In the meditation, what we're trying to doing is to purifying the dualistic experience. That's really the crucial in Sutrayana or Tantrayana also. So dualism, once we're able to tackle that and purify dualistic experience, that's the way mind is purifying. That's the way mind is transforming. So concept of a direct yogi perception. There's this, even in Sutrayana, that mind that becomes totally free from conceptual duality. And when you have free from such a things, it have a, such a we call like a meditative equipoise. And a meditative meditation have many different layers. A meditative equipoise is a total samadhi, an ultimate samadhi. Basically, the awareness are able to abide of a free of a dualistic experience. So that's really the ultimate samadhi or ultimate meditative equipoise. That's what we're trying to do. So when we're talking about dualistic, all the meditation are kind of geared towards through the overcoming from dualistic experience, and then through the transforming our awareness. So here, to understand thoroughly concept of duality, then concept of a two reality, conventional reality and ultimate reality. And that becomes kind of like more things. So the key thing over here when we're talking about conventional reality is basically is not so much to putting phenomena into a different category, is basically clear observation of your own subject experience, clear observation of your emotional experience, clear observation of your sense experience. So that is the way, that's the path to observing the nature of a conventional nature. Step number one is it is a kind of like a process to observing. It is not so much like a mental introspection in the meditation. In a Shinyan meditation, there is a mindfulness and a mental introspection, where you develop into the part of the meditation, but it is not really talking about the mental introspection. Mental introspection is a very specific mental state of mind, observing, have a specific responsibility for that mind. Right now, over here, mindfulness of a mind, that kind of observation is not specifically kind of geared towards the need, which kind of you're observing is nothing. It's a very broad observation of a way the subject mind is, experience the object. Okay. Okay, so now, like for example, meditation. What should I meditate? Usually, we might get, should I meditate Buddha? Should I meditate this? Should I meditate that? What will be the introduction for meditation? Introduction for meditation will be observing a way that our emotional are engaging into the object. So that's really the meditation. That's where we can develop realization. That's where we can purify our own self. If we just hope for somehow Buddhas and Bodhisattvas comes and magically happens something, miraculously happening something, then Buddha himself, from the beginning he mentioned, I can't give you my realization, I can't take your suffering. So Buddha's contract with the sentient beings are very clear. He made from the beginning, I can't give my realization, I can't take your suffering, I can just show you. Okay, so therefore, I think introduction for meditation will be mindfulness of a mind. That's the only thing that introduction for general Buddha's teaching will be introduction into true reality. Okay, so that's the. It may become a little bit complicated, when it's those terminology, philosophical terminology, conventional reality and ultimate reality. It may be a little bit like a headache for Thursday night. Okay. So, even like, for example, there is a guideline for how to meditate into emptiness. And in part of the way to meditate in emptiness, there is a kind of like a many different way, but they put it in a simple, 4 different steps. And step number 1, the standard terminology we call recognizing the object of negation. And that's the kind of, that's the step number 1, where you start the actual meditation into emptiness. And what really happens is it is basically 90% is observation, observing. It's like exactly, today's research, when you're doing research, you basically observe, you look at it. So it is a thorough observation into your own emotions and experience of emotion. Now, if we go more precise into the guidelines of the meditation of emptiness, that is also not enough. That is only not enough. Our emotion have a very hyper state of our emotion, and our emotion is a very, mellow state of emotion. It's much more subtle, really hardly able to detect what it is really feeling aggression or craving, or So, in the meditation of emptiness and mindfulness of such a mind, there is those grossest level of emotional experience is very easy to detect, easy to observe. You can see it, you can feel it, but in the meditation in emptiness, this is observation in this kind of state of a mind is not enough. It needs to be much more the calm state of a mind. Even if I use the exact terminology of that guideline, they call innate mind. Innate mind. Innate mind is almost looks like a subconscious mind. And in the first instruction, when you're going to do a meditation in emptiness, some way to mindfulness of a subconscious mind. So mindfulness of a subconscious mind is very complicated, isn't it? Okay, so that's so basically, meditation in a conventional nature of a mind or meditation of a ultimate nature of a mind, whatever we call, step number one is basically observation of that kind of nature of that mind, okay? So that means any practitioners, when we're trying to do a meditate, it requires tremendous patience because there's no entertainment. There's no way to kill the time. So it is something that inner patience. We have to have that. If mind will immediately says, okay, this is boring. Let's have something different. This is boring. Something. Let me bring some thought, something interesting, and then this will be first struggling with them. In introduction of the meditation is the struggling. You need this struggling need to be trained. Okay, this is boring. Let me do another one. Anyway, this kind of like an inner battle. You may start it. So one method, such this kind of like a conflicts not to face, and able to mind to avoid, even like mindfulness of a subconscious mind when we're talking such these things. One meditation is preparation for such a meditation is meditation of renunciation, meditation of renunciation. So basically, basically intention, developing the intention, developing the motivation, developing this, not only developing but transforming into a very strong motivation, strengthening the motivation, okay, strengthening the motivation. So wisdom part of our meditation is mostly observing the nature of experience, basically mindfulness of a mind. That will be the wisdom part of the meditation. And the method part of our meditation is developing the pure intention. Okay, what really means intention? What that really means. What really means intention? Me and my intention is, if we see intention is something that my helper or some kind of like a condition, something that I needed as things. I need a cup or I need a watch. Motivation, intention is nothing something like that. Okay, it is nothing something like, oh, I need the intention, so I will develop intention. What things else? And then need to develop inspiration. It shouldn't treat as how we treat material. Or I need. Is not that kind of way to look at it. Motivation. What really means motivation is intention. Is basically. I think in the Western culture, I think this expression, I have to be true to myself. In the East, I don't know, we have this expression, I have to be true to myself. But some kind of like a truth, intention is about something kind of about the truth. Is a truth about truth, true to myself. Similar, something like that. So motivation, intention over here when we're talking meditation into the method aspect and developing motivation or transforming motivation is basically whatever I'm doing, whatever action that I'm engaging, how much it is true to myself, or it is just like a necessary. Sometimes things what we're doing is not necessarily to be true to ourselves. We're just doing because it's just necessary. Okay, so just necessary. So over here in the meditation, in the method aspect, is basically there is a good, I say, synchronization with the action and the intention. And that's basically that intention becomes true to yourself. It's not intention that because, it text says, now you generate bodhicitta mind, okay, I have to generate bodhicitta mind. It's not based on the needs and it's not based on the necessity. It is the intention in terms of over here is based on the true to yourself, okay? And of course, okay. So, so here, conventional nature, conventional nature of a phenomena, and the conventional nature of things, conventional nature of a mind, functional reality establishing based on a relative existence. Okay. You all with me? Good. Okay. Okay. Now there's nothing coming in my head. Okay. What thing else? Okay. um, So, meditation into nature of a mind or conventional nature of a mind, you know, um, some of the texts, when you say conventional nature, basically, Sheba Nyongye Dangni, Sesam Rigzam Ki Dangni, nature of a mere experience. And we can have all those different words to describe, but still, what is a mind? What is a conventional nature of a mind? Is the mere nature of experience. And the general guidelines is such a description able to realize or able to experience. Usual meditation method is basically disengagement of a thought and feeling related with the past, and a disengagement in thought and feeling related with the future. In a so-called, even in today's, being in the present moment. Being in the present moment is, if you look at it, such a description and such a feeling. And in the present is very relative. When it's the present moment, if you look at what is the present, is a very relative. When it's a present, even when you look at into the what, when it's I'm being in the present moment, or when you express I'm being present, that present moment, when you look at it, analyze, it is a very, very hard to pin down, let me put it this way. Because present is so much relatively established. And if the present is a very relatively established, then your feeling of I'm being very present moment, I want to be a very present moment, that present moment is a truly existing present moment, and then you are kind of like a labeling being in the present moment, or really you are being in the present moment. So there is this kind of like a little bit complex, okay? So observing nature of a conventional nature of your mind is really able to observe the present first and then being in the present moment. So being in the present moment and the present have to be a very well synchronized or able to relate it very well. Sometimes we express, I'm being so, such and such a very present moment, I'm being very present. That's like, I think, the moment. Okay, anyway. So basically, disengagement or let going of a past thoughts and emotions, let going present thoughts and feeling emotions, based on this kind of two let going, two extremes, let going the two extremes, and then basically also when you say present, I think to experience the nature of your mind, also need to let go the present experience also, what we experiencing. And once we're able to let go the present experience, so-called what we call present experience, and then that opens the door to experience the mere nature of the conventional nature of mind, what we're calling. There is a chance to see the conventional nature of a mind, okay? And that really leads the nature of a mind is kind of pure. That really makes to understand the Buddha nature of our own self. When I say Buddha nature, is basically there's nothing inherent existence Buddha within our own self, but our mind, this mind being in by nature free of okay. I'm going all over the place. Sometimes I was in a biome, sometimes I was in the old San Juan. This is going all around. Okay. If my teacher is present, I'll get scolded. If a Khenzo Rinpoche, some of you met, if he's here, he will say, "What you talking about?" So therefore, usually I tell my students, don't put my teaching in internet. I'm really scared to my teacher will see. A friend of mine from he came to visit me and then and he's every day he's telling, hey, there's such a Rinpoche, his teaching is in YouTube. And I said, okay. And then one day he's impatient, then he said, why your teaching is not in YouTube? Looks like he's trying to encourage me to be being in the YouTube. And then, I said, no, I'm not going to be in YouTube. So I stay in safe side. Okay. I think this monk, he told me he saw in YouTube. There's one student. She wants to do a 35 Buddha prostration, and she wants to hear me reciting 35 Buddha. So I made this recording for her. Somehow it came in the YouTube. So he said only he saw I'm doing the 35 Buddha reciting in YouTube. There's no teaching. What happened for you? Okay, anyway. Okay, anyway. Okay. Now, one another thing, sometime I will use this terminology, deductive meditation, deductive, taking off all the option. Mind is not this, mind is not that, mind is not this. Kind of eliminating the options of identifying the mind, eliminating options of identifying of a self. There's this kind of then through this kind of elimination, then there's maybe sometime a space of no grasping, because through the process we're trying to, developing this kind of thought and emotional process. Is that temporarily, yes, it can be some kind of freedom, because there's no way to hold it through this thought process you're holding. But some of the instruction in a wisdom meditation, if we just stay into such a this kind of it may fall into nihilistic of identification of a self, because it is an effective method at the moment to emotional to free, but it may become not synchronizing reality and experience. So therefore, but at the same time, instruction have some guideline way to going through this process of eliminating of options of identifying that phenomena. Uh, uh, it also mentions that we need to go through the meditation of object of negation in first. Okay. Okay, I think it's enough. Enough. I think you understand, huh? Did I give you headache or no headache? No headache. No headache. Really, that's good. Okay, good. Thank you. So we'll do a short silent meditation, and then we're going to do a Tara mantra recitation to send a prayer for in the community, individuals, and just in the whole universe. And also we're going to do a medicine Buddha prayer, a mantra. A friend of mine, he went through intensive surgery, but somehow again the cancer came back again. So also we want to send prayer and dedication to free cancer, and that's also one. And then we're going to do a purification practice of a Vajrasattva, purifying ourselves, purifying universe. Okay. Om Dare Do Dare Dure Soha, 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 Om Dare Do Dare Dure Soha. Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha, Om Dare Du Dare Dure
soha. Om tare tu re 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 soha.
Dayanda
Om bekanse mahasamugate soha. Dayanda om bekanse mahabekanse rasa samugate soha. Dayanda om bekanse mahabekanse rasa samugate soha. Dayanda om bekanse mahabekanse rasa samugate soha. Dayanda om bekanse mahabekanse rasa samudgate soha. Dayanda om bekanse mahabekanse Bekanse, Ransa Samudgate Soha, Tayata Om Bekanse, Bekanse, Maha Bekanse, Bekanse, Ransa Samudgate Soha, Tayata Om Bekanse, Bekanse, Maha Bekanse, Bekanse, Ransa Samudgate Soha.
Om Bhaja Sattva
Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Veno Patishta Vrido me bhava Sutokayo me bhava Supokayo me bhava Anuragdo me bhava Sarva siddhi me prayasha Sarva karma sushame Chitam Shiryam Kuru Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vashamame Musha Vashabhava Mahasamaya Sato Ahumpe Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Veno Patishta Yo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuragdo me bhava, Sarva siddhi me prayasha, Sarva karma sushame, Shitam shiryam kuru, Ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sarva tathagata vajramame musha vajrabhava mahasamaya sato ahumpe Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Veno Patishta Vrido me bhava Sutokayo me bhava Supokayo me bhava Anuragdo me bhava, sarva siddhi me prayasha, sarva karma sushame, Shitam shiryam kuru, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, sarva tathagata vajramame munja vajrabhava mahasamaya sato ahumpe. Hacemos la oración de larga vida de nuestro maestro Yangsi Rinpoche, recordando todos los maestros que enseñan el Dharma a través del mundo. Madre Tara, liderando del samsara. Tú, Tara, liderando de los 8 temores. Tara, madre que libera, por favor otorga el don de la longevidad. Por las bendiciones de los gurús raíz del linaje, por los logros espirituales de los yidam, dioses y diosas, por los métodos hábiles de las dakinis y los protectores del Dharma, que podamos realizar gozosamente la esencia de nuestras esperanzas. Gendun Tenzin, eres afable, benevolente y bondadoso. Por favor, permanece con nosotros durante una larga vida. Expande tus actividades iluminadas en todas las direcciones y continúa madurando y sustentándonos a mí y a todos los seres sintientes. Desde este momento y durante todas nuestras vidas, manténnos bajo tu tutela. Sé nuestro amigo, nuestro divino y virtuoso guía. Limpia la degeneración de la ignorancia. Ayúdanos a realizar rápidamente nuestro recorrido por los senderos y caminos y alcanzar los 3 cuerpos de un Buda. Por la verdad de la realidad incambiable y por la bendición conjunta de la indestructible Sangha, que la esencia de estas oraciones se logre rápidamente. Vamos a finalizar con la dedicación. Que por los méritos de esta virtud pueda alcanzar rápidamente el estado de un Guru Buda y pueda llevar a este estado a todo ser sin excepción. La mente de iluminación es suprema y muy preciada. Que donde no ha surgido surja, que donde ha surgido no disminuya, que cobre cada vez más fuerza. La visión correcta del vacío es suprema y muy preciada. que donde no ha surgido surja, que donde ha surgido no disminuya, que cobre cada vez más fuerza. Así como el valiente Manjushri Samantabhadra distinguieron los fenómenos tal cual son, yo también dedico estos méritos en la mejor forma, siguiendo su ejemplo perfecto. Dedico todas estas raíces de virtud con la dedicación que es considerada la mejor, por los victoriosos asidos de los tres tiempos, para poder realizar todas las buenas obras.